In this video, I'm putting manual photo editing against AI photo editing, and you will be the judge. So start with a manual photo edit in Photoshop, then try to get the same result using Nano Banana. Let's see which one does it better. Okay, let's do this. So here's the simplest and the easiest way to make the skin smooth without losing the natural skin textures. So go to your layers panel here and drag and drop this background layer onto this layer icon here to make a copy. Double click on the background copy and rename it to colors. Drag and drop the colors layer onto this layer icon again. Double click on the colors layer and rename it to textures. So disable the texture layer by clicking on this eyeball and then select the colors layer. Go to filter, blur, and then select Gaussian blur. Take the radius to 1, select a place or an area in the photo that has a lot of textures, like maybe this one here. Here you can zoom out by clicking on this icon to see the entire face, and then start increasing the radius until you stop seeing these pimples or blemishes, but you can still see the features of your model's face, like this. So this radius number here vary from image to image. That's why I suggest starting at 1, then increase until you stop seeing the blemishes or the pimples, but you can still see the features of your subject's face. For this image, the radius of 40 works just fine. Once you're happy, like I'm happy with the radius of 40, I'll click OK. So from here, go to your layers panel and select the textures. Enable it by clicking on this eyeball here, and then go to image and select apply image. So this panel is going to pop up. On source here, just leave it the way it is. On layer, change it from merged to colors here. On channel, just leave it on RGB. Blending, change it from multiply to subtract. And then opacity, leave it at 100%. Just skip these boxes here. Scale, just put 2 here. Offset here, just type 128, like this. So from here, you can just click OK for an 8-bit image. So this is an 8-bit image. You can see 8 here. So these settings are for an 8-bit image. So if you have 16 here, make these changes instead. So on layer here, change it to colors. Channel, leave it at RGB. Blending, change it from multiply to add. Opacity, leave it at 100%. These boxes, just skip them. Scale, set it to 2. Offset, set it to 0. And then from here, just click on invert and then click OK. And everything that comes after is the same. Since this is an 8-bit image, I'm just going to go on the blending and change it from add to subtract. Invert, I'm going to uncheck it like this. And then I'm going to click OK. Go to blend modes here and then change it from normal to linear light, and then hold Ctrl or Command on the keyboard and select the color layer. Go down and left click on this group icon to put these layers in a group. Double click on the name and rename it to frequency separation. Open the frequency separation folder and select the color layer. From here, just go to your tools and select the lasso tool here. Set the feather here to 20 pixels and then select your model's skin, and then go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. Take the radius to 0.1 and then start increasing it until you are okay with how smooth you want your image to be. So if you go overboard, it's going to look weird, like you're just going to mess up the entire photo. For this image, I can use the radius of 70 and then click OK here. Select this skin here, go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. I can use the radius of 70 and then click OK. I'll just repeat this process. And then I'll select the nose, then I'll go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. I'll reduce it to maybe down here because I don't want our nose to look flat. So I'll take it to 0.1 and then I'll start pushing it up. I think I'm okay with this, and then I'm going to click OK. This is the before, this is the after. Once you are done with skin smoothing, go to the frequency separation folder here and select the textures. Go on your tools and select the clone stamp tool here. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So now let's remove the pimples or the blemishes. I'm going to make the brush just a little bit bigger than the pimple or the blemish that I want to remove. And then I'm going to alternate or option. You see the icon will change, and then I'm going to sample a clean part or a clean area, and then I'll just paint it on the blemish that I want to remove like this. Alternate, and then I'm going to sample a clean part or a clean area that's near the blemish or the pimple that I want to remove like this, and then I'll paint on the blemish or the pimple that I want to remove. Alternate, left click to sample and then paint like that. So I'm going to speed up this process. So if you like this video or if you've learned something from this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this one, don't forget to subscribe and smash that bell icon so that when I put up my next video, you will be notified. So this is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. So this is the simplest and the easiest way you can remove the blemishes and make the skin smooth in Photoshop without any plugins or any actions. So let's try and do the same thing we've done here with Nano Banana Gemini 2.5. Nano Bananas is now available in Photoshop Beta, which is different from the regular version of Photoshop. You can easily install this version of Photoshop by going to your Creative Cloud desktop, go to Apps, and then Beta at the top here, and then from here, Photoshop Beta, just click on Install here. So if you want to try this version of Photoshop with Nano Banana for free, for a limited time, I'll put a link to the trial version in the video description below. So you can use Nano Banana by itself in platforms like Gemini, but Nano Banana in Photoshop does have major advantages. So you could select the entire image just as you do with Gemini by holding Ctrl or Command and then press A on the keyboard like this. So from here, just go on the contextual bar here. If you can't find this bar, just go to Window and then just go down here and then you see contextual bar here. You can disable it or enable it by clicking on it. Just left click on generative fill here, and then before you type anything here, you can just click on this icon to change the model you want to use. You can use Adobe Firefly or these other model here, but we want to use Gemini 2.5 Nano Banana. So I'm going to just left click here to select this one. And then from here, I'm just going to type remove pimples and blemishes and make the skin smooth and click generate here. So this is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. So you can see Nano Banana does have a small resolution limitation. Look at the original. This is the before. See how sharp this image is. This is the after. We've lost the details in this generated image. Even our subject moved just a little bit from the original image. So it has managed to make the skin smooth. Let me just disable this. Let me just select the original layer. Hold Ctrl or Command and then press A to select the entire image. Go to generative fill and type remove pimples and blemishes. I'm going to remove make the skin smooth. Click generate. Okay, so this is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. It did understand what I'm telling it to do, but the resolution is not that good. This is the before, this is the after. Looks okay, but it's blurry because of that limitation. But we are in Photoshop, which means we have the option to select small area. Let's try and do that. Let me just disable this layer. I'm going to still select the background layer here, and then I'm going to make sure rectangular marquee 2 is selected here, and then I'll just select this part here. Then click on generative fill, and then I'm going to use the same command prompt, remove pimples and blemishes and make the skin smooth, and click on generate. Okay, let me just move this guy here. So this is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. You be the judge. Let me try another prompt. Let me just disable this and then select the background layer. And then I'm going to select the same place here and then click on generate. And then I'm going to use the same command prompt. Now I'm going to remove make the skin smooth. Just saying remove pimples and blemishes. Let's see what's going to happen here. Okay, so this is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. It's not working. Let me just select the background here and then select the entire face, generative fill, remove pimples and make the skin smooth. And then click on generate. So this is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. So at this time, I don't know whether it's because of what I'm typing. I don't know what I'm supposed to type for it to give me the results that I want. I don't know, but I think at this time, Gemini Nano Banana isn't able to skin retouch my photos. Let's try something else. This thing I'm going to try has nothing to do with skin retouching. Just going to select this part and type add futuristic sunglasses. Let me just click on generate. Oh wow, this is where Nano Banana shines the most. Let me just zoom in a little bit. You can see how it's able to create the shadows under our nose. Like, this is something else. If you can see the edges of my selection, like the part which Nano Banana generated looks a little bit darker than the original image, but we can fix this. Just go to your tools here and select the brush tool, and then select the layer mask. I want to make my brush a little bit bigger using the brackets on the keyboard like that. Let me just delete this. So make sure the foreground color here is set to black. You can click this icon to switch between white or black foreground color. Just paint the edges of your selection like this. And let me zoom out. Control or Command minus on the keyboard. So this is the before, this is the after, this is the before, this is the after. So if you want to retouch fast, level up your retouching skills, you should check out my beauty retouching actions part. The links will be in the description below. So what you can do after removing the blemishes and making the skin smooth from our first example is to color grade your photos. And if you would like to learn the simplest and the easiest way to color grade your photos, you should check this video here.